All right, I was testing my phone camera for a second. So I want to just talk about something without the cards right now, but something that I was just thinking about, something that I've been thinking about since, fairly recently. So the past 2 years, it's bright, the sun, after my third toxic relationship, I had to do some thinking, because I didn't want it to happen again. I nearly sacrificed the most important person in my life, that being my baby girl. I mean, she's a big baby. She's an adult. Unengaged adult with that. Anyways, I'm not gonna I'm gonna stick to the topic, and not reveal, have respect. Anyways, okay, so it's so, when you really start making these changes, so a lot of it is replacement thinking, and that is evidence-based. My last job that I had I made it to about 7 months. It was a new prison, or I should say an extension of a prison, but so there was 5 of us new staff, and it was supposed to be a treatment center for people with addiction, right? So me and the other 5, we instantly became friends. We got along. We were like-minded. We wanted to help people. And our boss, she was very kind-hearted too. She had worked for the prison for about 5 years, and she received this promotion to be, I just realized this is right here. Oh, well. Anyways, this is my little treadmill. Well, hey, it's called it can be used as an under-desk treadmill, but okay. So she has the helping mindset. Long story short, it was, and I've heard this through people, especially one person who has worked for that, for the system for a long time, knows all the higher ups and everything. And it just sounds like a lot of corruption, the wrong, which is why I'm glad that I'm going to school right now, pursuing the current degree that I'm pursuing. One of the reasons. But anyways, I'm bringing all that up because I learned about, so I had started engaging in mindset work strongly about a couple of years ago. I said, I got to figure this out. Therapy ain't really done not much for me. I mean, I was motivated to get my bachelor's in psychology, and I wanted to help people. And I've definitely helped a lot of people, different age groups. I know how to help people. I get it. I've been there. And but there was, after the last relationship, I said to myself, this is insane, because what else is there? Why is this still a problem for me? So, and I had to figure it out. I had no choice. I had no choice. I had too much to lose. I was to the point, so before I met him, I had already gone through pretty much on my own in time, about 5 years or 6 from the last guy number 2, of just getting better. I had met some new friends from my work at the time. I was still at the mental health center. Things were they were progressing. And then I meet this guy, this third guy. And and as I had my appointment today with my psychiatrist, he totally explained it. Like, cause I was like, I wanted to be good enough for him or them. He said, this is what he said, quote, exact quote. He said, you didn't want to be abandoned again. So yeah, he's right. And it was refreshing to hear it. I don't know why I want my computer on. I think it's just kind of a little OCD thing. But yeah, I am so glad that I'm doing my own work for myself because I deserve it just like you deserve it. But so yeah, my last job at the prison, or the extension of the prison, because it was specifically for addicts, people with, drug charges. And so, I did a few different trainings because I was a teacher. I already knew about addiction because I've dealt with it myself. And I know what it's like. So, well, anyways, I went through these trainings and we started learning about these in the trainings. They are called behavior change. I might have mentioned them before in one of my videos. I don't know. But what it is it's basically, it's replacing your thinking, and you have to do it repetitively because some of the residents, inmates, offenders, whatever, but you're supposed to call them residents today. But they're like, and I think it's hard for them. Number one, what I've heard is they have had hard time with authority. Authority has not always been very nice to them. And believe me, I've seen it. And they're at all levels to severe. But I know I have not seen the most severe. And then number two, they view it as like work. And that kind of goes back to the authority thing. They view it as a work, or maybe they're just not quite ready. Cause oh my gosh, this resident, he was, a porter. So he would come over and clean our admin building every day. So he had to have done whatever, good. He demonstrate to be good, good enough. They have numbers and stuff. However, they grade that which nobody trained me on. But anyways, if I get back into the corrections, I get it. I got to find people and I got to ask, I got to take the charge, which, hey, that's cool. We got to do that in life anyway. So I really shouldn't be so butthurt about it. That doesn't take, it doesn't mean that it was right in some of the ways that people treated not only me, but other people, the residents and other staff. And I mean, I'm talking harsh, even cussing. I don't believe I have ever yelled and cussed at a coworker. But, so yeah, these replacement things, I think I already said behavior chains. You do them repetitively. You got to keep doing them and keep doing them and keep doing them. And the guys would be like, what, another one? Yes, another one. And I would be like, I'll do one with you. And I would say, you're going to be doing these for the rest of your life. You're going to be doing these for a long time. And the reason why you're doing them, and I knew this because I had started getting into mindset work and manifestation communities and just exploring my spiritual side. I've always been very spiritual, but I was kind of trained. My brain was kind of trained, programmed to doubt myself and stuff. And then, if peers would say something to me, I would judge myself way too harshly. But anyway, so that's over a span of years. And so what I'm saying right now is I've learned from sorry about bit my tongue, people that I have watched on YouTube, and a lot of mindset coaches and not all, but the select couple or few, I guess I should say, that I really admire and I listen to them, they don't advocate for tarot, and that's fine, and I understand why. So I'm aiming, because I love the art. I love the shuffle. I love the texture. So I don't want to fully give up tarot. So I'm trying to use it in ways to where I want to emphasize, like, this is a reflection of the energy and the thoughts that you're feeling, but it can be changed. I ain't predicting no future. Okay. I'm not going to call out, well, I don't want to offend any of the users that I watch who are part of the mindset manifestation community. So I don't know. I may send a message out to them saying, hey, I got this channel. Please let me know if you're comfortable with me messaging you, because they deserve the acknowledgement. Whether it's me saying it over my channel or just me spreading it around to the similar communities at least. But so the replacement thinking, the behavior change, evidence-based. And this is for mental health and treatment addiction programs. And I was so baffled and so amazed, thinking to myself, this is what I have started to do. Within the past couple of years, I started doing this. I started replacing my thoughts, and my beliefs, because okay. And I have it taped on my fridge. The iceberg, it's called the iceberg metaphor within this curriculum. The curriculum is based in Cincinnati University, I believe, but the iceberg metaphor. Think of the iceberg, okay, the tippy top, the surface. When we are interacting with people that, we really don't know well enough, all we see is the surface. We only see, oh, look, she's dating that a-hole, or he's dating that bitch, or this person is being obnoxious. This person's so immature. We only see what's on the surface. Now, I am not going to make justification for people's actions in a general sense. Okay. Not right now anyway. That's a whole kind of other thing. But, so underneath the surface are the thoughts or thinking, the feelings, and at the very bottom of the motherfucking iceberg are your core beliefs. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, this is what I've been learning about for the past 2.5 years. It's been a slow process, because I'll go back to my old ways of thinking, and then it messes with me, and then I get discouraged, and yada, 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 yada. But yeah, that's why you got to do it so much. Evidence-based, people. So I would think thoughts of myself I always make mistakes. I'm not good enough. People abandon me. People don't listen to me. I'm a problem for people. Okay, so on a behavior chain, and I'll have to show one. I don't think I have one nearby. Oh, never mind, I do. Yay. I love these things. It's so funny, because I would tell my classes, my residents, I love these. I probably already said that. Ooh, I have the iceberg too. Oh, this is great, because I've been doing some straightening up. So here is the wonderful iceberg. Hang on, I'm going to close these, because the sun is moving. And what time is it? Is it starting to set yet? About 6:30 here. So as I said, we have the behavior. which is the surface, is what you see, okay? And then in the middle, the feelings, body signs of physical sensations and thoughts. Feelings, okay. And at the very, I know it's like flipped, but attitudes, beliefs. So this evidence-based practice from a University of Cincinnati Corrections Institute, Ohio. Reproduced with permission. It says copyright 2019. So as I said, I'm giving credit for the, but people, mindset coaches, they teach this because they know, a lot of them know it's evidence-based, it's scientifically proven, all that, you know what I'm saying? So, and then the behavior chain, which comes from the same university. So one is going to be, you start off with your negative thoughts, right? Which I just named 5. And they want you to name 3 to 5 and then have one replacement for each one. This is a replacement page. So you'd be naming the 3 to 5 thoughts and then how those make you feel, because our feelings, I remember being in therapy as a teenager and my therapist drew the diagram. Feelings, thoughts, behavior, it all affects each other. Behavior is a choice. I love this type of work and learning. I love helping myself and helping others. Life could be so grand. It is grand. Okay, where's that other, or where was I doing? These were just, I guess, from copy. Okay, these are stapled. So as I was doing, I was trying to find a risky. Yeah, so see, the other side is the risky. And at the top there, that's a situation. Okay, and then at the very bottom, where is it? Oh, behavior and consequences. So behavior is, okay, they would teach that the situation is out of your control, right? So something has happened. At the moment, okay, so something happened. So a couple classic examples during training, they'd use, you just got out of prison, you're out to eat with your family, and the waitress spills hot coffee on accident, of course. And then another one, a classic example is you get caught in traffic or someone cuts you off in traffic. But so I'm not gonna, right now I just wanted to focus on mostly the thoughts, because I was just personally thinking about me doing this work and how it has affected me, myself, and I. Okay, but yes, because the feelings and the thoughts, whatever the situation is, or just in general, the situation may be, I have a past of bullying and it's reflected into my adult life, because that is what happens. That is psychologically, scientifically based. But what it is, it's also, it's manifestation. It manifests into other areas of your life. So the situation, you'll get the thoughts, feelings. We made a behavior chain dance. It was one of the trainers. They called him Big John, and he's like, I don't have no shame. I know he's such a cool guy. I miss him. I gotta hit him up one of these days. But he's like, I think of it as a dance. You got your situations, thoughts, your feelings, behavior, consequences, and then drop it low. Super funny. And I never actually did. I told some of my residents about it. I never did it. One of the ladies in my training class, she's like, I did it. I did the dance. She's like, of course I was sitting down. You know, I mean, we ain't going to be twerking around a bunch of clients or residents who reside in a treatment center or, you know, are incarcerated. Like, that's, you know what I'm saying? So, okay, so I had named those 5 things, and that's true. You know how many years I thought those thoughts? Oh, and they tortured me. And of course, they affected how I acted and felt. And in my heart, in my intuition, I'm like, this is not me. Like, it's like deep down, I knew, but I didn't realize that I had to do some certain work to get it fixed up in here, reprogramming of the brain. So if you're a logical person, more on the science computer types, like our brains are like computers. I'm pretty sure my father mentioned that in the past to me. I don't know for sure, but you know, like a car, like a computer, because you got to do all these things for your brain, and it reflects into our actions and how we're feeling, even physical. So like, think about, first of all, think about your life from as young as you can maybe remember, at least maybe 13, right? It ain't all due to puberty. I could get into like the limiting beliefs, and I could get into a lot of things. A lot of people want to blame these things like, oh, she's going through puberty. Well, oh, she's, you know, in a bad relationship. Oh, she's in a bad friend. There are reasons why we got there, my friends. Okay, so if I was doing a behavior chain, okay, I can't, the 5 thoughts, the risky ones, so we got to replace it with 5. So I think the first one said, like, I always make mistakes. Okay, so I'm confident in what I do. The next one, maybe what it was, people abandoned me. My replacement thought. I have a lot of people that stick by me and love me. God. What was one of the other ones said? Like, I'm not good enough, maybe. I am a damn good person. Like, I do this. Like, I have a support chat room that I made. I support people. I listen to people. I'm a good person. I'm good enough. I got, you know, the right people are coming into my life. I think you guys get the point. So yes, I was starting to do that type of work, and then I got a job where I'm doing training on it. It's just called a name from a university, but regardless, it's true. It's evidence-based. And so my point is, you're gonna, I would tell my clients this too, you are gonna feel it. You're gonna know when it's working. When you apply this type of mind work, oh, you are gonna know. We're gonna feel it, and you're gonna see your changes. So, you know, one of my issues was, you know, and all this starts from when you did the 50 small. And like, I think I had mentioned, however old you may be, like, that's how many years it's taken, that whole span of time. So that's why the repetition, it's because we speed it up so it doesn't take another 20, 30, 40, 50 plus years. That's why you got to do the replacement thinking all the time, always. It can also be known as affirmations. In the you know, mindset manifestation types of community, you're doing your affirmations. So, you know, like, so say if I'm, well, there's just different types of ways. And some of the like most popular people in these communities or this line of work, Neville Goddard, he's kind of known as the king in this type of realm, or at least manifestation and, you know, spiritual laws, specifically the law of assumption. Maybe also he talks about law of attraction. I have listened to him, very wise lectures. He was popular around maybe from like the 40s to the 70s. And I believe his dad, and I know this from somebody that I watch on YouTube, did, similar work. But I believe Neville Goddard was trained by Abdullah, if I'm pronouncing that right. Think about it, you guys. People who live in different countries, they do all these meditative practices. I saw a sleep doctor. I don't know where he was from. I just know he was foreign. He appeared to probably be somewhere from the Middle East, but he told me, stay away from the news, at least have some boundaries with it, because you want the better stuff to get in your mind, things that align like with what you want in life. When you hear the news that negative, and it's not even all real. I have textbooks from my graduate program that I'm doing now that have told me, even in like the 40s, authors, writers, actors were becoming blacklisted if they wouldn't discuss their political beliefs. That's their business. I'm passionate about the work that I do. I am passionate about whatever part I can do to make people better. And ultimately make people better. But when people are better, guess what else is better? This earth that we live upon. So different cultures other than ours, they focus more on natural, holistic things like staying away from the news and meditating and all these healthy stuff that's going to program that mind. And you'll feel the changes. That was my whole point of this. But I wanted to explain the work so that way maybe you could get started with some of this replacement thinking for yourself. Even if you're sick, the mind over matter. We grew up hearing that saying. We grew up hearing all these cliche sayings, but did we really learn about the depth? I didn't. But I know now. I'm still learning, but I know a lot, quite a bit at this point. And I keep like every single day. I do at least a little bit of insight work on this every single day, because this is for myself. This is my life I'm talking about here. I was so sensitive. Someone could say something to me, and even if they didn't mean it in a bad way, I would take it in a bad way. I would take it like I'm a piece of shit. Yep, that's right, I am. And I would sometimes act out emotionally. And my shame of that is kind of going away just because of my mindset changes and the understanding of how it all happened, how it all manifested into my behavior. I've thought of this. I started thinking about it some months back though. Like I'm noticing the way that I respond differently when it comes to, I'm a straight woman, but when it comes to males, first of all, I'm still working on the idea of myself and how I view myself, aka self-concept. If you are familiar with the manifestation mindset, you can call it so many things. You can call it spirituality. You can call it really whatever you want. You can call it behavior change. You can call it cognitive work. It's the same thing, mostly. There's a lot of different. What should I say? I mean, I'm gonna stick to my point, as I was saying, how you're gonna notice it. When I've had a few different situations where I haven't even tried to justify red flags. There's a difference between a red flag and, maybe I'm nervous about forming this. I'm talking about like the other person. Like, he might say something that, maybe he's nervous, whatever. Or I notice this is a red flag. Like, these are some of the things that he has said. That ain't right. And the actions, of course, actions speak louder than words. Like, this is odd. There's something going on here. Whatever it is, it may not even be a red flag of him being what should I say? Bad. I'll just say bad. That's being blunt. Like he may not be a narcissist or anything, but whatever it is, it's not what I want. It's not what I deserve. So say if like I start talking to somebody and he texts me and like I answer and it's a serious topic. And then 3 days later hits me up like we were never having that serious topic. Like I was never telling him something about a serious thing, how I was feeling. I could go on, and ultimately people are also, they're a reflection of you. But see, you got this way as an adult because of circumstances that occurred as a child. So as a child, you did not know any better, and you won't really know any better unless you teach yourself and learn from others. So I'm like, okay, no, been there, done this, nope. And then I also, I know that I'm still not attracting in the right people. It's just a mixture of things. But okay, back to the freaking point is I noticed the difference in my responses, because before I would have been like, oh no, like he's abandoning me, like those bad thoughts. The bad thoughts, okay? So yeah, I just want to say that you'll notice. Do the work, you guys. I mean, unless you're happy with how things are. I wasn't. I was miserable. I was miserable because some of the things that the people did that I clung on to, like, what am I doing? Now I understand. And it's just cool. It's just an amazing thing how we can evolve. And this kind of goes, I guess, with my reading I posted today regarding mental health. But I mean, a lot of my content that I put out there, it's going to have to do with mental health and spirituality. So yeah, try it. If you feel like you think more negative thoughts, like I don't feel good, I'm so tired, I'm a loser, I never get a date, I can't find anyone, it's useless, what's the point? Try flipping, just try replacing those thoughts. It ain't gonna happen right away, most likely. And it's gonna, I mean, I've been doing me on my own person, everybody's different, but for me, like I'm about 2.5 years in, and I've gone back and forth because it's a change. It's a change, and change, getting used to something, especially when you've thought the same thing for several years. I don't want to sit here and say it's so simple, because here's the thing, it is simple, but I guess call it our egos that want to try to protect us, because they're so used to our anxiety. So like our fight, flight, or flight. There's also freeze and fawn. Those are two newer ones, and we know what's comfortable to us. If you're a victim, well, I don't consider yourself a victim if you stay in toxic relationships. Like once you stay, unless there are certain, how do I explain this? I mean, there are certain cultural aspects and other things. So I'm not, and believe me, I am not disrespecting anybody that is staying in a toxic situation. Okay, I don't want to get too much into that though, at least not right now. So give it, my grandma would always say, well, often, she would say, well, that's your assignment, or this is your assignment. So like whatever it was we'd be talking about, you know, and if I'm like, oh, I didn't know about that, or yeah, I got to get that done. Grandma would say, all right, well, that's your assignment. You find out about that, or you know, you do that. And so that's where I got that phrase from. I mentioned my grandma on my last reading with the sunflowers and everything. There was one thing, because I was trying to stay on track, but I'm wearing stars on my shirt, and that 10 of, or the Empress card, we still have them out. I do. Are those stars? Okay, yeah, I think, so they are stars on her hat. So I thought that was another cool thing. Just, I don't know. You know, tarot is really kind of for, you know, entertainment, but it'll definitely reflect on how things are, how the energy is. So, I will see you all later, maybe sooner than later. I don't know. I go with the flow a lot. So, but for now, signing